Hey guys, it's Jen. This is another Jen is Zen episode of Reframing Me. In these short bits, I like to give you something to meditate on or journal about. Today, I'd like you to think about this. Is there somewhere in your life where you need to engage? Many years ago now, we were with family and my cousin's little one was doing something wild running around. I don't even remember what at this point, but my cousin called over to his wife and he's like, I'm gonna need you to engage. And it was just such a funny and weird and totally him way of saying it that now it's become a standing joke between my husband and I. I'll often be like, Tig, I'm gonna need you to engage. Leading up to the first day of school this year, they had open house like schools do. Well, typically the older kids don't go because A, they're too cool, and B, they clearly know the school by this point, so they don't need to be there. But because my daughter was a freshman, my boys were coming with us to show her around. Now, like most days this summer, we had a house full of their friends that day. So it was super sweet. And all of the boys, they decided to come to open house with us and show her around. I mean, it was adorable. I don't think she learned anything because, of course, there were way too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody was pulling in a different direction. They all had different ways to get there. Everybody knew the best route. Let's stop here on the way. Let's go over here. Let's go see this person. We kept losing people, but it didn't matter because it made it super special and memorable for her. And no, she may not have known her route, but she definitely was made to feel comfortable. So my middle, who is a sophomore, he had his schedule and he knew where he was going to go and supposed to be without even really looking. My oldest, who is the senior, he of course didn't even bother to pull up his schedule for open house. Well, the first day comes and everyone heads off nice and early, plenty of time before school starts at 8:30. Well, at 8:36, I get a text from him. Can you send me a picture of my schedule? I'm like, school started 6 minutes ago. You've been there for probably 20 minutes at this point. And I realized, I'm like, oh my God, he's probably just been wandering the halls like, I think I have AP Human Geo, peeking his head in classrooms, looking around. Is this AP Geo? Are you AP Geo? Does anyone know where AP Geo is? And yes, he confirmed that was frighteningly accurate as to what he had been doing. I'm like, dude, it is way too early for a case of senioritis. You are actually only like 75% of the way through high school at this point. I am going to need you to engage. It did get me to think though, is there anywhere in my life where I have my own case of senioritis? Is there anywhere in your life that you do? Anywhere in your life that you've tapped out? Is there anywhere that you've put things on cruise control? It's really easy to do that sometimes. Things are going smoothly, so we let our attention wander. I mean, there are so many other places that we can focus, right? And sometimes that's okay. But even in those areas, we do need to check in and engage periodically. Because if we don't, we can veer off path fairly easily. Now, I don't fly a plane or pretend to be a pilot of any sort, but I do fly on them. And I know that even though pilots are locked into where they're headed, it's not like they just tap out. I know that they're continuously making sure that they're on the right path. And we need to do that too. Because it might not seem like we're headed in the wrong direction, but sometimes we're just a bit off course, which then becomes a bit more off course, and then a bit more. Day by day, we veer ever so slightly. And before we know it, we're not headed towards our goal anymore. I know for me, if I were to do an inventory, especially at this time of year, I have a lot of balls in the air. Classes have just started back up. So I've got my undergraduates and I've got my graduate classes. I've got all aspects of the podcast that I'm juggling. And I know where I'm succeeding and 100% where I'm not. I know that I am very focused on putting out quality content. Yes, I may run a couple of days late here or there, but overall, I think I'm doing really well with that. And from what I hear and see, thankfully, it seems like you all agree. So I just keep plugging away. I'm really, really happy that I see my numbers staying consistent because you all are so amazing and so loyal, and I adore every single one of you for it. But I know that I'm not growing at the rate that I wish I was. And I also know that that's 100% on me because I have definitely been dropping the ball when it comes to marketing or social media, the making connections, the promotion. And I've also totally dropped the ball with what's the next step. I've got my eye on the episode that's in front of me, which, yes, I need to, but I also know that I need to engage. I have 3 active teenagers who I am trying to support in a multitude of ways. I have a husband who totally and unfairly gets pushed to a back burner sometimes. I have parents and family. I mean, my sweet little niece who I love to talk to and to hear about her 3rd grade day. I love that she FaceTimes me daily. And if I don't answer, I get the follow-up text. Aunt Jen Den, where are you? I have friends, one of whom just sent her son off to college. And so I do know that I should be doing much better about checking in on her. Although, as I've told her, I really can't help but feel like in my own senior child emotional state, I am not sure that I am the person for that job. I have other friends that I should also check in with more. I have another really close friend who I know is also in this senior child emotional state. And I know I should be talking with her more. But to be honest, I think I'm afraid to hear her voice the things and the feelings and the emotions that I'm having in my own head because I'm trying to desperately avoid them and ignore them in my head. And I know that talking to her is going to make me need to listen to my own thoughts. So yes, if I look at my life, I know that I am engaged 100%. But that doesn't mean that there aren't aspects of my life that I can see I am veering off course and I need to adjust. So today, can you take the time to look at your life, to look at your relationships, at your goals? Are you still on the right path, or do you need to adjust your course at all? Is there somewhere in your life that you need to engage? Okay, so I'm going to start right here and right now. Can you each do me a favor? And if you enjoy the show, if you've taken something helpful from this episode or from another one, would you please take a quick minute and share it on socials or with your friends who you think might also enjoy it? And if you don't already, would you please follow the show so that you don't miss out on any new content? And also, if you don't already, would you also please follow me on socials on Instagram and TikTok at Reframing Me, and on Facebook, it's Reframing Me, and join the Facebook group Reframing Me, the podcast community, to connect with other women who are also raising teens and rediscovering themselves. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, be well, communicate, and stay engaged.